Hello and welcome. I'll be presenting today technological advances made through investment and collaboration with carbon reduction in mind and the principles of in situ recycling maintained. That is, recycling your highway materials so as to provide a re-engineered and enhanced platform to support asphalt layers or surface dressing carrying traffic. Pre-COVID, SPL invested in Wirtgen's state-of-the-art latest generation W380 CRI, a cold in-situ recycling machine. Performing a one-pass operation at almost twice the width of our 2-metre machines, outputs are greatly increased. Providing the in-situ service in almost half the time spent on site, reducing construction times and disruption to the travelling public. Simple benefits at the workface centre around these outputs whilst maintaining our minimal lorry movements, since very little in the way of material is being delivered or removed from the workface. The one-pass train of plant also provides a safer working environment, since reversing is only undertaken by the compaction rollers. The 380's performance has meant higher outputs as mentioned, but also level control benefits, since the recycled material is conveyed to a following paver before being laid back into the carriageway. In addition, centralised mixing before conveying and laying adds to the material consistency, plus the drum itself rotates in the direction of travel, referred to as downcut, which improves the resulting gradings. Injection systems for the addition of emulsion and water are enhanced, which also adds to the accuracy of the delivered recycled product. Trials took place earlier this year at Kings Lynn, where sections of recycled HBM as well as foamed asphalt were created and laid in situ over geogrid in a one-pass operation. The short film that follows will help to demonstrate the advances being made. You will see how an opportunity was realised where the temporarily exposed subgrade below the conveyor provided scope for further gains.
In this case study, a 2-kilometre section of the B1160 in Norfolk required intervention after the underlying ground conditions caused the carriageway above to be compromised, consequently limiting the ability to carry its usual high levels of industrial and agricultural traffic. To enhance the road's performance and long-term condition, a polypropylene geogrid was mechanically incorporated into the reconstruction below the recycled layer and above the subgrade. Whilst historically this would have meant excavation of the carriageway to lay the grid before covering, SPL have developed a pioneering one-pass technique by using the Wirtgen 380 CRI. As the recycling takes place, a section of subgrade below the material conveyor is exposed, presenting the opportunity to roll out the grid before the recycled layer is placed back. The structural benefits of this installation technique helps to mitigate against micro cracks forming within the grid layer and ultimately preserving the integrity of the layers above. With improved efficiency around the grid installation, the high outputs of the W380 CRI and the re-engineering of existing carriageway aggregates, the scheme is calculated to have a carbon saving of 200 tonnes, equivalent to that of an average car driving 525,000 miles. Highlighting SPL's commitment to managing our environmental impact whilst delivering efficiencies and commercial benefits. SPL, recycling Britain's roads.
The total area was a little over 10,000 square metres, demonstrating a CO2 saving of over 200 tonnes. The work was carried out for Norfolk County Council with design through Norfolk Lab Partnership and delivered alongside Tarmac, Norfolk's term maintenance contractor. Monitoring of the carriageway will continue through SPL and Norfolk Partnership Laboratory and the results distributed. A further development for Cambridgeshire recently was the inclusion of geotextile below the grid, where the subgrade was very poor and required not only the grid impact but also further separation. Once again, separate dispensers below the conveyor allows the inclusion of both products in a one-pass operation. Brief stops are required for reloading. Here you can see the recycled material placed to level over the grid and textile, sitting quite proud prior to compaction. This shows the same road, the recycled material after the first roll with some compaction still to be carried out. Bitumen emulsion will be sprayed to provide cover in order to retain moisture and prevent the recycled layer drying out too quickly. This in turn is covered with a protective grit which remains in place before being swept prior to surfacing. The surfacing typically takes place within 24 to 48 hours, whilst our material can be temporarily trafficked under reduced speeds. We run a carbon calculator following most works, which will help to provide not only evidence of good decision making, but also highlights CO2 hotspots, such as high embodied carbon materials or distances travelled. If we measure, we can make adjustments. For example, look further at low cement products or utilise local plant and services where practical. The numbers here may be a bit of a struggle, but please feel free to get in touch if anyone wishes to look into the detail further. At SBL, we've been promoting the environmental benefits of the in situ process for many years in terms of zero waste, tar encapsulation and recycled content. Our efforts in measuring and demonstrating carbon savings to clients are more important now than ever, with targets and aspirations for carbon reduction. The Wirtgen 380 and associated outcomes enhances the environmental outcomes, and we continue to seek to improve. Thank you all for listening. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions or would benefit from further detail around the process or any of the items discussed today. Many thanks.